Where did the name Haudenosaunee come from, and is it okay for people outside the nation to use?
The name Haudenosaunee is an ancient name. It's an ancient name that means people of the Longhouse. People of the Longhouse, in this term, when we talk about the word, means a group of people and a philosophy and a way of life and customs that stretches over hundreds and hundreds of miles. And so that is our Longhouse, Haudenosaunee. It's a word in which we hope that everybody embraces this word because that's who we are. And we adore being complimented in this way because it identifies who we are as citizens and people. It identifies our government and our customs. And so, yes, it's a compliment if you greet someone who is Haudenosaunee with this word.
Why do people call us the Iroquois Confederacy?
Iroquois Confederacy, it has its roots with the English. The English were one of the first people from Europe to travel to this land that we live in, and it was a word that they brought with them and they identified with us. Haudenosaunee is what we identify ourselves. So over time, because our culture spent a lot of time being focused on the oral tradition, when it came to research and documents and textbooks, we were not necessarily the people who authored or wrote these documents. And so the people who did were more familiar with the term Iroquois or Iroquois Confederacy. But today, what we're so delighted about is that you can research our people now using the word Haudenosaunee.
What are the nations of the Haudenosaunee, and do some of them have special duties?
That's a really good question. There are 6 nations, 6 separate nations of the Haudenosaunee. And if we start from east, we would begin with the Mohawk Nation. And then coming west, next is the Oneida Nation. And then here in the territory in which we're speaking today, and we came to visit, is Onondaga Nation. If we continue west, there is the Cayuga Nation and the Seneca Nation and the Tuscarora Nations. And what's interesting is, like, in our way, everything around us in our environment has a duty, but there are some very special duties of the nations. For example, the Mohawk Nation is the keepers of the eastern door. So everything that comes from the east needs to be welcomed and greeted by the Mohawk Nation. And then we have the western door, Seneca Nation. Everything west of our area, of our people's territory, is welcomed and greeted by the Seneca Nation. And then at the capital, which is here at Onondaga, is the Onondaga Nation. And the Onondaga Nation hosts the capital, and it also hosts meetings of all the nations. They come here. People come here to learn our ways, our government, and it's a very important place. And those are just some of the duties of each of the nations.